Hello everyone. Hi, this is Professor Vilas Anil Sawan, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Forensic Science, Parul Institute of Applied Sciences, Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Welcome to e-learning. So today in this lecture we will be discussing about the paper, question document, and the number of paper is 11107254. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss about the chapter number 4, and under this chapter you will be introduced to the preliminary examination of document. Now let us discuss about the learning outcomes of chapter number 4. So after studying this chapter, students shall be able to understand the forensic significance of preliminary examination of document. Also, they shall be able to understand the nature of preliminary examination of document, and also students shall be able to conduct the preliminary examination of document. So that's all about the learning outcomes of this chapter. Now let's start with the preliminary examination of document. The preliminary examination of a disputed document case is done to find out if the document case is fit for detailed examination or not. The expert appraises whether the disputed document is normal, whether it is free from alterations, whether it is free from trimming, whether it is free from any obliterations, whether it is free from the infirmities of old age, whether it is free from the infirmities of intoxications, whether the document is free from the infirmities of disease. The preliminary examination of the standards helps to find out if the standards are authentic, proved to be from the alleged source, or accepted by the purported person. Also, it helps to find out if the standards are adequate, whether it is sufficient or not, whether it is a contemporaneous, whether it is a disguised or otherwise. The preliminary examination thus determines the adequacy, authenticity, and integrity of all the documents being examined. It is followed by detailed examination and evaluations. An examination of disputed document is a scientific problem, and it is no longer confined to comparison of signature or writing, but it also includes examination of ink, typed matter, printed matter, watermark, and all other elements that combine together to form a document. The examination of a document is not complete until its every element has been studied and examined thoroughly. Points which are generally considered in the preliminary examinations are: is the paper of unusual size, and was it cut or trimmed by hand at any margin? How many times the paper has been folded, and what is the sequence of fold? Does the paper bear any marks of artificial aging, and has the paper been torn, weighted, mutilated, and in any way, and if so, then what are the probable reasons? Does the paper bear indentation marks on the front side or embossed strokes on the reverse side? Does the paper show any physical or chemical erasing, obliteration, substitutions, or alteration of any kind? Was the document written or typed before or after the paper was folded? Was more than one kind of ink or pens used to write the body writing of the document? Does the document show any unnatural spacing between the written or typed lines? Is the body writing of document written in continuity by one and the same writer? Any unusual features? So this all point has to be considered while doing the preliminary examination of document. So here preliminary examination can be done in different manner. So as far as general examination is concerned, so first integrity of the document has to be checked by the document expert whether further analysis can be done on the basis of document's integrity or not. That has to be established. Later on, the person who is going to examine the document, that person has to establish whether the document is adequate or whether a sufficiency of document is there or not. If documents are not sufficient, then you must ask for some other documents, some other extra documents for further analysis. Then by simply looking at the document, if you can find out any leads, then that point also need to be checked. Then while doing the preliminary examination of document, you need to follow different processes where its visual examination has to be done, and whatever document you have been received, so whether that document is original document or whether it is a photocopy. If it is a photocopy, then better to ask for the original document. Then once you have got the original document, do not forget to photograph it. So you must photograph the document. Then also you must have to examine document both with polylights and UV rays. So here in case of any secret writing, UV rays can be used, by which area will be illuminated, and due to the illumination by the UV rays, one will be able to see the decipherment of secret writing. That is why you must have to expose your document to the UV light. Along with this, you must conduct the stereo microscopic check, and you need to find out any important information through the document. Not just the stereo microscopic check, but also you need to perform a dimensional analysis of document, where you need to check the dimension of all the papers of document, its size, its length, its weight. So these all points should be checked carefully. Then not just these all details, but along with these all details, you need to check different points. You need to look for different evidences, whether the document contains any impressions of finger or palm. If it is containing that kind of evidences, then you must have to treat the document for further analysis, where you need to develop the fingerprint or palm print. Then also you need to check whether document contains any kind of indentation marks or not. If any document contains indentation marks, then in that case you must decipher the indentation. For that you can go for decipherment of indentation by using the ESDA. Then also you need to check whether document has any perforation holes or not. So if document is having any perforation hole, then while producing the initial report, you must note down that the document is having the perforation hole at what locations and how many perforation holes are present on the document. So this all information has to be written if you are going for preliminary examination of document. Along with this, you need to check about the postal cancellation stamps also. Why? Because if you are able to find out the postal cancellation stamps on a document, then there are chances that you can find out the address from which the document has been sent. Even you need to check whether the document is having any signs of rebinding or not, where rebinding is the process where different types of papers will be considered for forming a new book, that is the rebinding. So you need to check whether the document is rebinded or not. Even if any document contains any revenue stamp, then also you need to check whether this revenue stamp is genuine or not. Then, as I said earlier, if your document has any sign of secret writing, then yes, you must check what type of secret writings are present over the document surface. Even by simply looking at that, you must decide like what kind of decipherment methods can be adopted for deciphering the secret writing. Not just these all things, but along with this all, you need to check whether the document contains any kind of stains or not. If it contains any kind of stain, then you need to first decipher what was the original writing below the stains. And as far as equipments are concerned, here in order to do the preliminary examination, first and most important point is you must have a good eyesight, then you must have a patience, then you must have a magnifying glass, and in some cases you can go for its microscopic analysis by using compound microscope, or if it is required then you can go for its stereo microscopic analysis. Now, the question might be there in your mind that why preliminary examination is necessary. So here answer is to check the integrity of disputed and standard documents, as I said before, to ascertain adequacy and suitability of the standards, to ascertain admissibility of the documents, then to provide useful leads to the investigator, and to ascertain the expert's line of inquiry. So these are the reasons why one has to go for preliminary examination of documents. So these are all purpose behind the preliminary examination of document. Now let us discuss how it is different from the main lab examination. See, as word is preliminary examination, that means initial examination, where you need not to go for any heavy examination by using any sophisticated instrument. Here you just need to check its integrity. You need to just establish or ascertain adequacy and suitability, whether the provided document is suitable for examination or not. So for that you just need to go for its preliminary examination by using simple instrument just like your magnifying glass or stereo microscope. But whereas as far as lab examination is concerned, there you need to expose your document to the highly sophisticated instrument just like ASIDA or video spectral comparator. So that is the basic difference between preliminary examination and main lab examination. Now let us discuss what are the minimum requirement for preliminary examination. So in order to do the preliminary examination, what we require is, as I said, we must have magnifying glass, we must have angle poise lamp or any other light source, we must have a comfortable chair and table, then metal scale, good natural light, transparent graph sheet for various purposes, a stereo microscope and UV line. So these are all required materials. So beside this, what we require is the ample patience. You must have a very good patience. If you are not having patience, then yes, this job is not for you. If you really want to become successful in the field of question document, then two things are more important, that is you must have a good eyesight and you must have a ample patience. So don't forget these 2 points. Now while doing the preliminary examination, you must go for documents background check. So background details has to be checked of both question as well as standard document. The full story surrounding the appearance of the document should be written down in detail, where description of document has to be written, where you can mention its appearance. So what is the exact content which is present there on the surface of document, then type of paper, then the color of paper, then the dimension. In that you can measure the length and width. If it is possible, you can also measure its width. Then also you can note down the information, like if document contains any kind of perforation holes or not, if it is tiered or trimmed, then that information should to be written on the paper. So the document, when subjected to different examination procedure, is susceptible to wear and tear. Hence, notes should be properly maintained and description of the document should be written when it is first received. The next point is the physical appearance of the document. So you need to check whether document are folded or if it is having any signs of creases or not. If ink spreads, it indicates that ink line was made after folding the document. If no indicates, no spreading of ink indicates the paper was folded after the ink has dried. The next point is odor. You need to check the odor of document. So here paper absorbs volatile components which give rise to characteristics odor of tobacco, cosmetic and fungi. Odor can help in identifying the place where the document has been kept or identifying the person in whose possession the document was present. So see how important the odor of document is. So simply by determining or simply by knowing the odor of paper, you will be in a position to determine the area where the paper was placed and even the person in whose possession the document was present. So this crucial information can be achieved. Then also, as I said initially, you need to check whether document has any kind of special impressions or indentation marks over the surface of document or not. If it is there, then you must note down that information in your initial report. Then cancellation stamp. So the pressure applied on envelopes by cancellation stamps in post office causes indentation on the contents which can help in tracing back the date. So here a date can be determined by simply analyzing the cancellation stamp. The next point is draft. Here you need to examine writing paper, where impressions which are found on writing paper can also help in crime investigation. Even if a provided document is a typescript, then you need to check whether your document shows any sign of typescript impressions or not. So that has to be looked for, that has to be checked. Even your document has to be examined under transmitted light examination, and for that you can either use VSC or you can simply take assistance of any light source, and by using that this type of analysis can be done. So here this accomplished by holding the document before a strong light, and this helps in detection of watermarks, obliterations and eraser. Then surface of document, where examination of both the sides of the document should be done in strong daylight, and color of both sides should be noted. Then if your document is having any signs of blots or smear, so this act can also be called as the obliteration of document, where writing will be erased by any ink blot or smear. So here the blots and smears are potential areas to identify any marks made by the forger. Then erased typescript. It is possible to erase typescript by an abrasive loaded rubber, but smears are left behind. However, indentation can help in identification of such typescript. Now, if any typewritten material has been erased by using any eraser, whether it is a chemical or a mechanical type of eraser, then there are chances that this type of erasing procedure can leave the traces behind, and by simply looking at that you will be able to determine whether the document was erased or not. So even though the content was erased, but as I said, this document is prepared by the typewriter, so in that case there are chances of getting the indentation mark. So even though if the content is removed or erased, there are chances that indented writing can be deciphered by using different method. Next is dimensions. So as I said earlier, the dimension and the shape of the document should be noted, where length, width, that the size of the document has to be noted down. Even the type of shape of document, it also need to be noted down in your initial report. Then you need to check whether your document contains any kind of perforations and adhesive stamp impression or not. The irregularities made during tearing at perforation can help link it to the counterfoil. Next point is the holes and tears. So holes which are made by tags or stapler pinholes. So if your document are having this kind of pinhole, then yes, of course you need to check for that, and you need to just note down the number of perforations or number of staple pin in your initial report. The next important point is, while doing the preliminary examination, you also need to check the content of the document. So you need to determine whether the document is handwritten, whether it is a typewritten or whether it is a printed one. That you need to determine. Then also you need to determine whether documents is having any kind of secret writing or not, or whether it is having any signs of invisible writing or not. That you need to check. Then along with this all, you need to check some extraneous marking like offset impressions, then the presence of ink or other marks which are not part of the writing. So this all information has to be checked by the document expert at the time of preliminary examination of document. Then as I said initially, you also need to check its color or shade of the typescript, or inconsistency in alignment which may indicate addition or alterations. So while examining any TypeScript, while doing its preliminary examination, you need to check its color shade and even you need to check its alignment. If you are able to find the inconsistency in alignment among the different words in different lines, then yes, it is the indication of addition or alteration. So where there are chances that the same document has been produced by using different typewriter. And also you need to check whether any content is being erased by any eraser or not, so that you need to check. Then you need to check whether document contains any kind of signature over the document or not, and if any document contains the signature, then also you need to note down the position of the signature in your initial report. Then adhesive stamps and continuity of stroke of signature over and after the stamp. So this information also need to be checked. Then if it is a receipt, then detection of evidence of anachronisms based on history of writing materials, that can also be checked while doing the preliminary examination of document by the document expert. So in case of ballot paper, evidence of marking crossed by a single writer. So as you can see at right hand side, there is the sample of ballot paper where you can check whether a single ballot paper has a multiple crossing over it or not. If multiple crossings are present, then yes, there are chances that the marking can be done by two different persons at different time. So that you need to check while doing the preliminary examination of document, whether it is a question or whether it is a standard one. So in short, preliminary examination is very much important. So by simply doing the preliminary examination, you will be in a position where you can say whether the provided documents are adequate, whether they are sufficient, whether further analysis can be done by simply referring these all provided document or not, that you can establish. And if after the preliminary examination of document, if you think that documents are not suitable for further analysis, then what you can do is you can simply prepare a report saying that the documents are not sufficient and further analysis cannot be done. So that can be done, or simply you can ask investigating officer to provide adequate and sufficient and related document for further analysis. So that can be done, and this information can be passed to the investigator only if you have done the preliminary examination of document. Then and then only you will be able to tell to the investigator that these documents are not suitable for examination and you need to send some extra documents. So that's all for the preliminary examination of document. Thank you.